Welcome to Richard Mabey Presents.
Hello, YouTube friends. This is Richard Mabey with Richard Mabey Presents. I'm on the back porch. Haven't been on the back porch in a while. It feels kind of nice, the warmth of the back porch. It's Thursday morning, September 15th, early morning, well, mid-morning. And it's kind of nice. I like being on the road and filming, you know, different scenarios like a Bellevue and Leesburg and Fruitland Park and that kind of thing, and also, you know, little areas of the villages. But I also like just to have the time to sit on the back porch and just as if, well, I am talking to friends, you know. But I wanted to talk about when I was a boy. I guess from about the time I was 9 years old, I had a great love for old books. And I was going through my buckets. I have these blue buckets, plastic buckets. I don't know what else to call them, with with stuff I collected over the years. I'm trying to cipher out. I'm 69 now, so I'm ciphering out, you know, I'm on third base, you know, and home plate is the grave, so I kind of have to cipher out my stuff. And some I'll sell, and some I'll, you know, bring to Salvation Army or something like that. But I found this old copy of Robert Louis Stevenson's Kidnapped. And I bought this the summer of 1967. I was 13 years old. And at St. Andrew's Episcopal Church was in the center of town, right on Main Street in Lincoln Park. And as you walked, I walked from my house, you're coming down, ShopRite would be on the left, and then you would cross the street, and then Steve's Barber Shop, then there was a deli, then Moe's Sweet Shop was on the corner, and you'd cross the street, and St. Andrew's Church, the sanctuary, was right there, the church itself. And then it was kind of funny, it was like carved out of, I think the church owned, and I'm not sure, if you're from Lincoln Park and you know, let me know, but there were 3 stores there. And one was like a little bric-a-brac shop. But then after those 3 little stores, there was a big front yard, and then St. Andrew's Episcopal Church's thrift shop. And you could get some really good deals there. So every Saturday mornings, me and my buddies, we would ride our bicycles down town, and I'd make the decision whether to go and have one quarter, and I'd make the decision whether to buy 2 comic books. You could buy either 2 comic books at 12 cents each, a Mad magazine at a quarter each, or they had the giant Batman comic books and giant Superman comic books. They came out like every 2 or 3 months, and they were a quarter. Or continue riding my bike down to St. Andrew's thrift shop and buy something from the thrift shop. And books, I think books were a quarter each, no sales tax. So you get yourself a hardcover book for a quarter. Now this book, I have to take my glasses off to see close up. This book, I know I bought this at, look at this, it has great illustrations in it. This book was published in 1949. 1949. I don't know if it's first edition. I'll have to look it up. Printed by Haddon Craftsman in Scranton, Pennsylvania. I wonder if, I don't, maybe they're still in business. I want to take some time and show you the illustrations in this book. They're outstanding. But I was a great lover of old books. I just loved old books. I'm getting back into wearing my glasses again. And oh, in the book, it's very interesting. I had this picture inside. I was flipping through the book, and it was totally impromptu. This is the old ShopRite in Lincoln Park. Let me get the focus in there. It's hard to focus it. Let me see if I bring it back and focus it. Hopefully it'll focus. Huh, it's not focusing. That's odd. Bring it back a little bit. And I worked in the ShopRite in my senior year of high school in the produce aisle. And one of my main duties was to, you know, weigh the vegetables and the fruits and vegetables. And you had like wasn't a magic marker, it was like a grease pen. And you put the price on the banana. Put the price actually on the banana itself, or in the plastic bag. They didn't have plastic bags back then for the bananas. You marked the banana itself. Worked all day Saturday, 8 to 5, and then every day after school from 5 to 9. And I did well. I did, you know, I got on an honor roll. I don't know how I did it. That's pretty amazing. I got my pie shirt on. And March 14th is Pie Day. And I thought, when I first heard about Pie Day, I thought it was like, oh, I'll have, you know, like, oh, I'll celebrate, I'll have a piece of apple pie. I didn't know it was like the old, whatever it is, 22/7 thing. But anyway, I loved, when I was like about the time I was in 5th grade, I loved these old adventure books. Moby Dick, Treasure Island, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and then kind of like the Frankenstein and Dracula. I liked Jack London books a lot. And also, one of my favorite books was Lobo the Wolf, the story of Lobo the Wolf. And then, of course, there was that, like, the science fiction type. Kind of science fiction, 80 Days Around the World. The Journey to the Center of the Earth, that kind of science fiction books I liked a lot. But it was really great. You could get a book for a quarter. Could you imagine, like, you get a hardcover book for a quarter? This is going back in from about 1964, 1963 to about 1969. So I'm going to show some of the illustrations in this book. It was really neat. I read this book. I read about over half of this book I read in my tree fort in my backyard. I had this big, massive maple tree in the backyard, and I built, my friend Stuart and I, we built, my dad helped, my friend Stuart and I, we built a three-platform tree fort. It was really neat. And I read this book, over half of it, in the tree fort that summer. So without further ado, I'll show the illustrations right now. And there's Opie. 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 Say hello to your fans, Opie. Opie. Say hello to your fans. He's so cute. Opie. Opie, say hello to your fans. Ope. Opie. Opie. Okay. He doesn't use... I don't want to say hello to his fans. So here's my great, very cool little table, the Coca-Cola table. I love this table. It just gives me those memories of Moe's Sweet Shop. They actually did have a soda dispenser like this in Moe's Sweet Shop. You get soda, Coca-Cola, Or you could get malted milk. Not a milkshake, but a malted milk. Or a chocolate soda. Not a milkshake, but a chocolate soda. So here's my kidnap book. And take a look at these great illustrations here. These illustrations are just fantastic. I really like this book a lot. I can remember there's some look at those beautiful, beautiful, great illustrations here. They're almost, I even like the way that they set up the little border for the word dedication. They really don't make books. That's pretty classy, table of contents. They don't really make books quite like I set off upon my journey to the house of Shaws. Just the, hopefully I'll come across some. Oh yeah, here it is. See, they're almost like woodcut drawings, really classic old-time sketches, Again, right here, another chapter, the border, just very cool. Let me get some more. Oh yeah, look at that. Really great drawings. I think these may have been woodcuts. I don't know, but look at that. Oh, just great drawings there. They really don't make, and I don't know if. Oh, look at this. Great color. Almost like a watercolor kind of thing. I don't think they really don't make. I should get something to hold this down with here. I got an idea. I'm completely in the moment here. Put my phone here, that'll hold that down for a little bit there. Okay, let me see here. Come across another. Oh yeah, look at this one. Great drawings. I mean, just really great drawings. I remember, that's what I loved about these old books, these old books that were printed in the 20s and 30s, and it was just great. You buy a hardcover book for $1. You couldn't go, oh, there's another great drawing. Color. Actually, I suspect that this is a watercolor painting. I love old books. There's another drawing there. I remember as a boy coming to the drawings was kind of like a little reward for having read 3 or 4 pages. I just love these drawings. Just so well done, like woodcuts. Oh wow! There's another color, like a watercolor painting. This is a great book. I mean, I think I might read this book again. I haven't read it in ages. Haven't read it in like over 50 years. I haven't read this book. I love old books. I love the feel of old books. Oh, look at that drawing. Great drawings. I love that almost, old books almost have like a musty smell to them, and I love that. Not where it's mildew, but kind of like, it's hard to explain, like a little bit of a musty smell to them. Look at that. Just great drawings that strike the imagination of a boy or girl. It was a magical time. There. Summertime up in the tree fort. Look at that. Sometimes I had like a little knapsack thing, and I go down to the canal and read in the woods there, and I bring like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a little thermos of apple juice, and just read, you know, bring an apple with me, and read my book along the side of the canal there. Oh, there's another beautiful watercolor there. Absolutely great book. I put the phone there. I'll tell you, there's another great. A lot of illustrations in this book. It's just a great book. I mean, the lad with the silver button through the Isle of Mull. But interestingly enough, oh, there it is, the old Roman numeral system to enumerate the chapters. You know, it forced you to learn the Roman numeral system. Just great books, just absolute. I mean, they just don't publish books like this anymore, you know. Another watercolor. Such a, oh, loved old books. I had quite a collection of old books. By the time, by the time I was in high school, I had attained quite a little collection, a little library of old books. I don't know what happened. I had so many of them. Maybe I had like, oh, this is a leaf from one of the trees in the old Mabey homestead. Oh, that's pretty neat. I used to do that, you know, put a leaf in the book. It's almost like my marker, you know, where I left off. Sitting there alongside the still murky waters of the old Moors Canal, along the towpath there, reading a book. There was an old fallen tree there on the path, and I remember I would sit on that fallen tree and read and read. Oh, I love to read books. Great drawings, just great drawings here. I mean, just stirred the imagination, you know. And I remember I got the reading merit badge in Boy Scouts. I think you had to read like 25 books. In other words, but they could not be all the same category or genre. One had to be, you know, you had to read a mystery book, you had to read a biography, you had to read a historical book, you had to read a classic novel, you had to read science fiction. But you know, I really, look at that, just great drawings. So I got, I think it was 25 books you had to read, and you didn't have to do a full-blown, oh, look at that. You didn't have to do a full-blown book report. I think you had to write a couple paragraphs about the book. And then at random, your merit badge counselor would ask you about one or two of the books, but you didn't know which books he was going to ask you about. Oh, these great drawings. They don't publish books like this anymore. They just do not. I mean, Stan Lee said it best. He said, you know, there was something to be said for holding a book in your hand as opposed to, you know, and I don't think it's good to have your eyes, great drawings, on a computer all the time. You know, I think it's something to be said for reading look at that, reading a hardcover book as oh, look at that, beautiful drawings, as something to be said for reading a hardcover book, holding it in your hands, as opposed to reading a book on the internet, you know. Look at that. Just great drawings. You know, a book was more than the written word. It was look at that drawing. was the way the book was laid out, a feel for the book, like just the way the borders for the little synapses of the chapters, you know. Just a great book. Another, I think these are woodcuts. I'm like 90% sure these are all woodcuts. I love woodcuts. Oh, look at that. Just great, great drawings. And coming to the end of the book here. There's a goodbye. Chapter 30. Goodbye. You know, it's great. And then they give you a little bio about Robert Louis Stevenson, and the illustrator, they give him credit, William Sharp. They told you a little bit about him. It's just a great way they laid out books. Then it's sort of they give you a little synapse of the book on the inside flap of the book cover. Great book here. Kidnapped. It's the great, great book. So, YouTube friends, that's going to wrap up another episode of Richard Mabey Presents. This was kind of a nice little change of pace. You know, sitting on the old back porch and looking at that old kidnapped book, the book Kidnapped by Robert Louis Stevenson. And I remember reading that book, and it was a magical time. You know, I was 13, the summertime, between 8th grade and high school, my freshman year of high school. Being atop the maple tree, it was a platform, and you know, you'd sit there cross-legged and read the book. And I remember from the 3rd tier, you could, to the north, you could see all into the woods, practically to the canal. Then to the south, Route 202 was in front of my house, and then there was Hook Mountain. You could see from atop that really tall maple tree, you could see the Hook Mountain. And then east and west were the ribbon of road of Route 202. Just a wonderful, magical time. The leaves all around you, squirrels scurrying about you, and butterflies flying around. Just wonderful, magical time. So I'm going to close. So, oh, if you like this video, please hit the like button. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe and hit the button, the bell on the right-hand side. That'll give you updates when I put up new videos. So, as always, thanks for watching. So, stay happy, stay positive, and stay healthy. This is Richard Mabey, signing off. The guy saw me. He beeped his, I don't know if you could hear it on the, he beeped his horn. Oh, they love me here.